A big congratulations to the matric class of 2024 for getting that 87.3%. But there's things that I need to talk about within our education system. Actually, let me say within our poor education system in South Africa. And you might say that this is not the right time to talk about that because people are in the celebratory mode, but there is no right time for things like this. We need to face the reality, and we've been facing this reality for so many years. We've been talking about such things for so many years. And it seems like the government is able to pass things like Bella Bill, but they don't go into the real problem that we have with our education system in South Africa. If you'd like to hear more about my views and opinion, you'll have to stick around on this. You'll have to stick around to hear me giving you my own opinion. But before we can do that, let me say, Dumela Kazi, welcome back to the Cafe Libito la KK. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Well, if you are new, please do subscribe. Don't leave without subscribing. Make sure you like this video. It helps a lot. And also, please do comment down below with your own opinions. Without wasting any more time, let's get into this video. Firstly, before I actually ruin your celebratory mode, let's say congratulations to each and every one of you who actually sat down and wrote their final exams for matric. The ones who qualifies to go to university, which they are bachelor's entrance, and the ones who are going to the University of Technology, as well as the ones who actually passed just passing, which is they also getting the national certificate for their matric. And I just want to say that if you did not pass, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of things that you can do, and also you are able to rewrite. And another thing that I would like to say to the ones who might be rejected by universities, it's not the end of the world as well. You are able to do things. You can go work for now, or you can go learn something for now, and you can come back the following year and go to the university. And also, you need to check why you were rejected by that specific university. Maybe you need to rewrite a certain subject in order for you to pass that in order for you to get that university entrance. So I would like to congratulate obviously the basic education minister for obtaining that 87.3%. But as I said, there's a lot of things to talk about, and also there's something that was written, or there's something that was said by the former vice chancellor or former UCT vice chancellor Pakeng. She says students do not only have to go to university, they can go to University of Technology, they can go to ATVET, they can go to colleges, whether it's an agricultural college or any other college, where they can get a post-school education and have a better life. And our democracy has promised and delivered on in many cases. Well, I wouldn't say they delivered. We've got 60% unemployment rate in South Africa. But anyway, this is what she said, and I agree with her. There's a lot of things that you can do. But let's go back now. Let's get into the real thing, why I did this video in the first place. The education system in South Africa is very poor. You need 30%. You need 30%. So you need 3 subjects that you will pass 30%. 3 subject 30%, 3 subject 40%, then you pass your matric. Your aggregate, if you don't know how to calculate your aggregate, if you're watching this video and you just pass your matric and you don't know how to calculate your aggregate and all of those things, you just combine all the percentage that you got, and then you add them together. You add them together. After adding them together, you will get obviously the results. And then you divide that result of all your percentage. You divide that result. In this case, it's 200 and something. If you got 30% and 40%, it's 200 and something. And you divide it, it will give you 35%, right? That is your aggregate. And there is no university that will take you with that aggregate. And all those 40% and 30%, there's no university will take you with that at all. For example, UCT wants you to have an aggregate of 70 something, right? And why in South Africa is it so easy to pass laws like Bella Bill? You pass laws like Bella Bill that allows illegal immigrants' children to study in South Africa, whereas South Africans are supposed to produce documents. And we've been having the same problems long time ago, actually throughout the years, that South Africans were not able to get education in South Africa because they did not have proper education. But now South African president passes Bella Bill that is having a lot of defects in it. He is passing this Bella Bill to say you can come without documents as an undocumented illegal immigrant in South Africa to study in South Africa. No one is supposed to sit down at home. That was not the case when South Africans did not have documents in South Africa. They couldn't write their matric. That was not the case. It is not the case because some of the South Africans that have got their identity stolen, they cannot write their matric, right? Yet, this video is still not about that. This video is about this 30% pass mark that we're endorsing in South Africa and celebrating. It is so sad. It is very sad that a South African student cannot compete internationally, especially if you're endorsing that 30%. And a lot of these children did get this 30% pass mark, 30%, 40%, and then they just pass their matric. What are you going to do with that? If you had a wish of going to university, what are you going to do? Are you going to rewrite? Are you going to sober at home and sit down and add on the 60% unemployment rate for youth? The education system during apartheid, I understand that it was that education system that was teaching children about locusts and things that we don't care about and things that are not really the issue in the world. But you were not going to pass if you did not get 50%. Why did we lose that 50% pass mark? Why did we lose it? At this point, yes, I'm not talking about the ones who got the university entrance. The university entrance students did work hard. For example, I did not get any results that were less than 50%. All of my results are between 50, actually 55, 60, most of them is 60-70% my results, right? The syllabus that these children are doing in South Africa, it's not bad, but how you're supposed to get results and pass matric is bad. It's the lowest. Bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel. We cannot endorse this 30%. Musi Maimane has got a petition to actually petition that we do not want this 30% pass mark. We don't want it. You get 35% aggregate, you've passed matric. Why? Why is it so easy now these days to pass grade 12? And yet we still have children who are not passing that grade 12. It's easy to pass grade 12. We still have children who fails. So that means there's some rot inside the education system that we have in South Africa. First of all, there's no discipline. Secondly, the actual career of being an educator is just some of the people are just collecting salaries because they have no rights to do anything. They have no right to actually discipline their children. They also are under-resourced. You go to a public school, very under-resourced. The Free State is doing really well on their side at this point of time, and they have been doing really well for years and years and years and years. I can attest that the Free State takes education very, very serious. You can go to a public school in the Free State. A lot of them, they've got a couple of resources. They've got more resources than when you go to the Eastern Cape schools. When you go to those schools, the teachers are so motivated because it starts up there. If there is no one motivated within the management level, principles and whatever, that means nothing will happen down here. So I went to the Free State as well for a short period of time. I studied in the Free State for a short period of time in high school. I can tell you that the schools there, they are very competitive. They want to do their really utmost best every single year. Utmost best every single year. And in most cases, they want you to get more than 50%. They want you to pass within the 50% mark, not within the 30% mark. So they try to strive to get that 50% mark. They're not saying that you're going to fail if you're not getting the 35% aggregate mark in South Africa. We know that you are going to pass when you got that 35% aggregate. But it doesn't mean that it is a good thing for South Africa to still endorse this 35% aggregate passing mark, because it's just not right. It's definitely not right. Why is it switching off? Okay. It's definitely not right. I understand also when other African countries are laughing at us because 30% mark, and obviously these white people also who are always up in arms on social media talking about how 30% pass mark, especially when they've got a disagreement with a black person, 30% pass mark. I understand them because we are endorsing stupidity. I studied my actual lower grades when you were supposed to get 50% to pass. When I was studying back then, 90s, early 2000s, you had to get very high marks in order for you to pass. So I studied in those times. Why are we not getting back? Why are we not going back to those times whereby you had to work double the amount in order for you to get that 50% and pass and get the exemption and get the distinction and get all those things? Why are we not going back there? Why are we happy with the Bella Bill and signing all these laws in and signing all the laws and doing all these things? But yet it's difficult for the government to say, you know what, let's deal with the elephant in the room. Let's deal with the problems that we have within the education system in South Africa. There's a lot of problems that we have within our education system in South Africa. There's a lot of them. So that is my problem here. As much as we can celebrate the 87.3%, Siviwe, Minister of Basic Education, you've got some things to do. You've got a lot of things that you need to change within the education system. We need to see the 50% coming back. What is it, this education system? There's this private institutes, IEB. Is it IEB or some IBE or something like that? The ones that are, you need to get 50% to pass your matric. They are doing really well. They're getting a lot of these university entrance endorsements, distinctions, and all of those things. That means it's possible to happen. It's possible. The government must put in place things that would monitor the children that are slow learners in this one. And those schools we must have schools that are for slow learners. We must have schools that for children that are having psychological problems and all of those things. We need to have those actual schools in order for us to deal with the problems that we have within the education system. The teachers are under-resourced, underpaid, and all of those things. Those are the things that we need to deal with. Because right now, I feel like we might be happy that we're getting 87.3%, and next year we're getting maybe 90% pass mark, but the rot in the education system won't end. And the government is happy to see people getting so excited because the people are clouded with that excitement. They're not questioning certain things. That is the reason why I'm doing this video now, because this education system is trending. This 87.3% is trending. Now we need to voice out our issues with the education system. That is why, even though you get over 50% and you got your university endorsement and you apply for university and you go to university, there's a lot of people that are dropping out because they cannot handle the pressure, because at the university level there is no 30% mark. You need to get 50%, and in order for you to go to commence to doctorate or to honors or whatever, you need a certain mark, because you are competing with a lot of people then, especially if you are doing courses that are very difficult to penetrate, such as psychology, for example. If you are doing psychology, which I don't advise you to do, you are going to compete to get to those masters, honors, doctorate. It's going to be a bloodbath. So there is nothing like that at the university level. There's no 30% at the university level. Why don't you make the same thing in high school, making sure that each and every child in high school is taken care of? Actually, each and every child in school is taken care of. We know that this one is a slow learner. We know that this one is dealing with this thing. In order for every single person moves into the right direction. We cannot have Bella bills passed and they need to be implemented as soon as possible and all of those things and whatever. But passing all these laws is not going to make any difference within the education system. It's not going to make any difference. It's just going to disadvantage a lot of children. It's going to disadvantage a lot of children. I'm saying it again. We need to face the reality. South African education is crap. I'm not saying the syllabus is crap, but the education system, the requirements for you to pass matric, crap. You cannot celebrate the bare minimum. You cannot. I always tell my family members who have children who are going to school and whatever that I'm not looking for you to actually pass your matric with a 30% aggregate. I need you to go up your game. Each and every time when they come back, when I'm home, they come back with their results, test, whenever I check, I said, no, you need to get a certain amount in order for me to be happy for you. I'm happy for you that you are doing well, but I need you to pull up your socks. We cannot have that. We need to understand that the government puts this 50% and we know that the child got 40%. The child failed. You failed. You got 40%. You need to get over 50%. Anyway, these are my views. I need to hear your own views. Do you think we need that 50% back? We need it. We actually need it. I'm thinking about it now. We actually need it. It's a matter of life and death. We need it. We cannot. No. We need to compete with the rest of the world. Cannot compete alone. Doesn't work like that. Do you know how difficult it is to penetrate universities in Germany as a South African? It's difficult because of our education system. Anyway, thank you so much for watching till this far. Please do me a favor, subscribe. Make sure you like this video, it helps a lot, and comment down below with your own views. I'll see you in my next upload. Have a fantastic one. Peace out.